Hey, everybody. So good to see you here with me. And I wanted to just mention to you that we're going to keep it on the simpler side tonight. The video may not be so great, so I do apologize, but at least the audio should be okay. And I wanted to talk about a quality that all of us have to one degree or another, but it's so needed today, and that is courage. And what is courage exactly? Well, courage is being able to acknowledge a risk or something that you fear, but you keep the determination to follow through anyway. But it's done in such a manner that it's not reckless, it's not foolhardy, it's done with an idea in mind of what you want. So I want to talk about the steps that I personally take to try to instill more courage within myself in order to follow through the things that are difficult with life. And the first step is really can be the hardest one, which is, just square on facing what it is that you're afraid of, and going into your best case and worst case scenarios. And let me explain why. So the worst case scenarios are so that you can anticipate problems, following things through, but just make sure that you limit the what ifs, because if you allow for your monkey mind or your emotions to get out of control, you can get onto this whirligig of minutiae. And I call it the Jurassic Park mirror effect. And what is that? That's when you have your problems or whatever you're facing, really being about the size, relatively speaking, of the gecko. But in the mirror, it looks like a giant T-Rex, coming at you. The objects are closer than you think, because our minds can do, when they're allowed to run amok, can create bigger fears or bigger shadows than things they really are. So keep it real. When you're going into whatever the worst case scenario, especially, keep it real. Limit the what ifs, and as best as possible, work with the facts that you have. When I say best case scenario, because that is just as important in developing courage, the best case scenario talks about what you're aiming for. What is it you're hoping to have the outcome be? And that includes, having that courage, the determination for someone that you love, a cause greater or beyond yourself, and how you would like for things to turn out for them. So when you begin to look at facing it and looking at the worst case and best case scenarios, it gives you a basis to operate from. But then there's the emotions, and what I'll do is I just breathe them through. I acknowledge them. I don't try to suppress them, because you know how human nature is. The minute that you try to say, I'm not going to go there, you're going to go there twice as fast, twice as hard, and hit that wall. So say, for example, I have something that's making me very nervous, then I'll do is I'll focus on the nervousness. But as I breathe, I move it through my body. So it's with that exhale, so the inhale, I'm kind of focusing on what it is I'm trying to release. And with the exhale, it's if I'm pushing it all through my body and from my spirit and out, and just releasing, literally breathing it through. And when I breathe out the nervousness, when I've breathed enough out and I'm level a little bit more and my mind is clearer, then I will also then focus on what I want to breathe in, which would be, say, clarity. Out with nervousness, in with clarity. You get the idea. And just being within your breath and using your breath to focus what you're releasing and what you're introducing can go an extremely long way for you being able to just get calm and level enough so you can build that nerve, that strength to be able to do what it is that you are facing, that personal challenge that you have. But what I would have to say to you is, as you focus on the end result, especially for something that requires courage, because they are usually things that cause us to get into the space of needing to marshal that quality, are things that can be complex for us, or it doesn't seem simple. So whatever the end result is, realize that it's not going to be ideal. It'll be again, that best case scenario. It'll be the best possible outcome for what it is that you're working with. And it's okay. Accept that. Remember, whatever it is that you're dealing with, odds are it's not going to be like the first ever and done. And even if it is, if you know that you gave it your best try, coming from right reason, best try, use courage, which means heart, again, strength of the heart, then with that, own only what is yours. Let the rest go. Don't be beating yourself up, coulda, shoulda, woulda, da, da. So when you are harboring anything inside like nerves, again, let it out. But with that, whatever the end result is, make peace with that you did as best as you could. And if anything, give yourselves credit that you faced that personal fear, you faced whatever that risk was, and that you managed it well enough to be able to go through with it. So that's one of my personal steps that actually helped for me to get through some of the worst things in my life was just in those moments. And this is good to do when you're in that moment. But what I wanted to share with you is how you can use courage to make positive changes in different areas of your life. Because I'm going to say if you want to, courage is a little bit like a muscle, or like exercise. The more you exercise, the more you can grow it, the more you can define it. And the one thing that you have to say is that it can be used for many situations, not just do or die situations. Although, if there's something where you feel the need to bring up that sense of bravery, odds are, even if mentally something is little, it could feel like a do or die situation. So just acknowledge that this is called normal. So one of the things that I would say to you that you can use it for is, and to grow this muscle, is by using it to try new things. Go using this idea of courage, of marshaling the bravery to try new things out of your comfort zone and not quit ahead of time, before you've even tried it, following it through, at least giving things an honest, run through before you make a decision whether to keep it or not into your life. So that's one thing. Another part where this can be used is making new friends if you're looking for a soul tribe. And it can feel really awkward. It's kind of bizarre when we're kids. We usually don't have that hang up. We can just go, hey, my name is, and want to play, and we're good. And then we get older and it just can get weird. So using this quality is one where it can help you to just get that, okay, worst case scenario, meeting these people doesn't work. Best case scenario, I get at least one good friend or somebody from my soul tribe. Breathing through the nervousness and going forward with that. Another way that you can begin to grow this is by speaking your mind. It doesn't mean being just letting the arrow fly any which way and it hits whatever target. Of course, I always suggest speaking mindfully, but speaking your mind. And that can be difficult when you're in a work situation, when you're in a situation where it can be a little bit delicate and there's lots of emotions, but still the necessity to speak your mind. And finally, what I would say, another good way to grow is using this form of strength, because that's what it is. It is a form of strength. It is literally strength of the heart, to begin to break away from self-imposed limitations. That includes internal pressures, artificial deadlines. I'm not talking about deadlines where you have to get work done or be at a place by, like the internal artificial deadlines that you put in and limitations. And I would also include breaking free of unnecessary limitations that have wrongfully been placed on you by other people. So that idea of standing up, speaking up, and being able to claim yourself and to empower yourself. So this is what courage does. Courage is that, as I mentioned to you, that strength of the heart that will help you to move through. But it should never be used to, I'm going to say, cause fear in another. In other words, you don't want to use this very sacred quality to become that which you despise. Use it instead to be able to move through, lift yourself up, and hopefully, in turn, you're just doing your own thing. Others will observe, and it becomes a motivation for them as well to be able to stand up and to move through fears, to move through necessary risks in this way. Because life is this, life is change. We need this particular sacred quality in order to be able to not get stuck. It allows for us to also that sense of accomplishment and to reclaim that sense of balanced power. So what I would say to you, my friends, is that, please, I would love to hear your comments. In what areas would you like to grow more courage with? Or if you'd like for me to go further with this, please drop a comment. Always, if you enjoy the video, please subscribe. It always helps me out a great deal to spread the positivity. And of course, if you could like it, that really helps too for people to discover these particular videos. So with this, Wanishi, thank you so, so much. I really enjoy this time. And I always love your comments. If there's any thoughts for other videos you'd like me to do, please drop me a comment below. So until we get the chance to spend time together again, bright blessings to you and to yours.